Hello, good morning, everyone.
Morning, sir.
Are we, Rimneet, please check, is everybody getting in, all concerned?
Yes, sir. PGFT is to join, rest all have joined.
Okay. And I can see Mr. Graham Bonner is also here. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. My pleasure, our pleasure. On behalf of PhD Chamber, Punjab chapter, we welcome you and hoping to hear you with some thoughtful process about exports, what all
Yes.
can happen from Punjab.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can do this.
Just we are waiting for 1-2 minutes more, and then we'll move. Rimneet, Karan will join later.
Yes, sir. He will join later towards the end.
So this his responsibility will be taken care by.
You can do it, sir.
Okay. So we have increasing every minute the participants. So let's wait for another 2-3 minutes.
Rimneet, you can confirm when the DGFT speakers join.
Yeah, ma'am, I'm just calling. She's joining, ma'am.
Okay, thanks.
In the meantime, we request all participants to kindly share your queries in the chat box so we can take up during the interaction.
Yeah, and keep them everyone to keep themselves mute also. Three 1-8692. So should we start, Rimneet? Madhu ma'am?
Actually, DGFT is the first speaker, then we can, if they are getting delayed, we can start with the next speaker. So we can start, sir.
Though they have yet to join the DGFT.
Rimneet will confirm because I don't see them here. But I think we can start and go with the first speaker in the interest of time.
Rimneet, can you confirm the
Yes,
DGFT?
sir. Sir, I just called. She said I'm joining. I think we can start with the program.
But they have not joined yet.
Yeah, I'll see to it. We can start.
Okay. Uh, this is a very good afternoon, good morning to everyone. This is today's program, which is on export promotion and risk management, organized by PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industries, Punjab chapter. Um, just focusing how exports in the coming time. This Make in India and more productivity, which is the need of the hour. But we have to have the exports also, so that wherever we are lacking or don't have more access for our MSME, we can facilitate support. Though Punjab is doing very well in the basmati rice exports, then we are doing very well in the hand tools, uh, housery, cycle, and sports goods. But there are many other fields, areas where we can do better. So looking into all these aspects, we have organized today's program. In this program, we have Punjab government as a partner with us, where Mr. Sibin, who is the Director Industries, Government of Punjab, IAS officer, he will be joining later. He has a video conference with the Government of India, which started at 11. So he assured that moment it will finish, he will join us. After that, we have with Mr. Graham Bonner, who is chairman of Gallus Ecom, based in UK. Uh, Thank you and welcome to Mr. Graham for joining us. After this, we have government departments, DGFT, Director General Foreign Trade. We have EEPC, Engineering Export Promotion Council. We have banker with us, State Bank of India, and many other specialized people who will be giving and after their thought process, or will be having more knowledge to ask the questions from the uh, panelists. Moving further, I would request to start our today's program with the presentation of Mr. Graham Booner, and then we will request the DGFT, since they have not joined yet, but it was their turn. If they have joined, they can come forward. Otherwise, Mr. Graham Booner will join. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me to talk today. As you've said, I'm Graham Bonner, Chairman of Gallus Ecom India Private Limited. We're in Chandigarh, is where we have an office. It's on the 14th floor, and it's a great view, may I say, over the city. Brand new building. We're a business-to-business website, and that's come about by getting myself together with two Indian colleagues who have this vision of promoting India and its manufacturing and services. This started two and a half years ago, so well before the pandemic. We're just completing testing as we speak, and then we will start to gather suppliers in to go onto our website. We have people working on looking to get us on page 1 of Google, which, as we all know, is very, very important. And certainly from my perspective as an Englishman, I'm very excited by it, because I believe that India has an enormous amount to offer to the world. And as mentioned, I don't believe that we've even touched the surface of what India has to offer. So a bit more about Gallus, we are behind. We're unique in as much as on our website, we are offering India only products and services. So we're not going to allow anybody knowingly to give us any services that are from other countries, such as China, for instance. So that's a real positive for promoting Indian industry. I'd also like to say that because of the pandemic, we have decided to offer this service free initially, certainly until sometime into next year, probably mid next year. And any suppliers wishing to join our website can do freely by contacting us, admin at Gallus Econ. And everything's online, you can join online, but it is for free. So that's, we see the pandemic as being something special. And initially, we certainly don't want to put anybody to any expense. I think people are suffering all around. So we are 3 directors, myself and 2 Indian gentlemen. Unfortunately, one of our directors is fighting with cancer at the moment. So we are behind where we intended to be because of that, and COVID has also made things more difficult for us as well. So, sorry, I just made some copious notes last night, which I'm trying to get around to. So our business model is very simple. It is India only, and we're offering for people who are trading, manufacturing, or a service. And we want to get that out to the world. And the only way to do that is to go onto the internet. The economy, as we all know, has been hit badly. In fact, when I was looking at the numbers yesterday for COVID, it is quite frightening. India, I see, has got 3.1, nearly 3.2 million cases of COVID and 58,000 deaths. The UK is showing 327,000 cases, but 41,000 deaths. And the world is 23 million cases with 800,000 deaths. Now, we know that this has hit economies hard, and in fact, India is behind where the UK is currently. But the UK economy has shrunk already by 20%. So I think in this area that we're in, where India want to look at more exports, everybody else is going to be doing the same. So what we need to do is we need to be positive about our approach. The Indian economy, I also noted, is predicted to shrink by 14 to 26%, as it hasn't been affected since 1979. This is really uncharted territory. So the goals, the agriculture and construction automobiles have been the worst hit. So what can we do? What can we do to boost the economy? Let me tell you a little bit about myself, and I hope this is going to show you from the point of a foreigner, if you will, although I feel myself partly Indian, being a director of an Indian company. I'm 45 years in purchasing in a manufacturing environment, which is my specialist area. The last 25 years of that, I was the purchasing director for a large manufacturing white goods company in the UK, although I did travel extensively around the world, initially to China, and then to Turkey, and then to India. In each time that I went to any of these countries to purchase goods, I ended up having to take on and hire a person from that country, because the biggest thing, and although this is obvious, people don't think of it, the biggest barrier that we have between countries and that we have to get out is culture. It's a very simple word, we all understand it, but I don't think we understand the impact that it has on the areas of communication and reaching our goals. And that is why I've gone into this website in India. I saw that India had huge potential and it was hardly being tapped, certainly in the manufacturing area. You certainly have many goods that you ship around the world, but they tend to be petroleum, rice, and other areas which are not so much manufacturing. So whereas in China now, you don't actually need a Chinese person to gain new business, nor in Turkey. In India, it still seems that to make communications, certainly to the manufacturing sector, which I was aligned to, you still need an Indian person to bridge the culture. And I think that is something that is, it's a very hard hurdle to overcome. I know you may think, oh, that's simple, because in reality, you would expect that India, because of its links with the UK and many Indian people, and I have an audience in front of me who obviously speak English, that should not be an issue. But it is indeed the culture that is holding us apart. So what does a buyer want? So from my perspective, what does a buyer want? Well, a buyer wants good communications, excellent quality of product, a competitive price, a short lead time, and low to zero minimum order quantities. It's very simple to say, but hard to achieve. For good communications, you need understanding of the customer and the culture. And it's the most important aspect if you intend to not only win the business, but also to keep it. For good quality, you need to be working to a high accredited system. Having certificates for your quality these days is very, very important. Obviously, you need a competitive price, and you need to understand that although your competitors are from Western countries, it doesn't mean that they will pay any price. Short lead times, you need to ensure that you have a suitable supply chain in place, or otherwise you're going to hold high stocks, and that's not a way to be economic about your business. And for the low MOQ, you need to set up your times for purchase and quantities to be quick. And your samples need to be right first time. Now, this may all sound like it's the obvious thing, but I can assure you, after a long time in purchasing and having to deal with, certainly I dealt with China since 2004, and that took a good 10 years, probably longer, to catch up with the culture. And even now, there are times when we do need some intervention. Turkey has been easier to overcome, but that still took a while to get past that culture. On the matter of certificates, I was looking at the ISO certification, the quality standard, which is globally recognized. India has, I noticed, had 8,000 sites with that certificate, and the UK has 21,000. And I'm saying that really from a positive point of view. I believe that there is a huge opportunity for, with help from the government of India and the various areas in India, to help these companies boost themselves. Because although the UK is the largest manufacturing output in the world, India is the 6th largest. It's a huge economy. And it's a great opportunity to boost the Indian community if we have the right incentives. And this can be done if we work together. So from my point of view, the model that we have with Gallus is very simple. We are offering Indian product and services and not knowingly allowing products or services from any other country. For my company's small part, that we will host anybody who wants to come onto our site for free well into next year. We have engaged professionals to boost our profile in Google to reach the first page, which should open doors. And that's what we can do. As a company, we can open doors for manufacturing in India. And we will market our company around the globe to bring buyers in to India for India products and Indian services. So I would like your help to introduce Gallus to all manufacturers and services who want to export their products, or would just like to grow in India, because the other interesting number that I came across yesterday was although exports from India were around $30 billion, imports were around 36 billion. So I believe that we could grow Indian product internally and reduce our need on imports as well. So together, with support of the government services and areas to boost these manufacturers and help educate them as well in what is required, I think that India can do very well and become number one in the world. I certainly believe that with the resources that India has, that it can compete easily with China. China has dominated for a long time and certainly been there for a long time. And being a communist country, they have managed to have all their services and areas put right. The speed in which they built roads over there when I was going over there was incredible. And we need that in India. We need better routes to market. And that can only be done with an understanding. And from, if you like, as I said earlier, from a foreigner's point of view, we need India to step up and hit the mark. And I believe it's very possible, but we can only do that together. And I think that's really all I'm going to say for today. Does anybody have any questions? Is there anything from my point of view that anybody would like to know any answers to?
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. We will take the questions later. You will be here. You will be part of this.
Yes,
webinar.
yes, I'm staying for the whole session. Absolutely, yeah. Very interested in what's to be said. Very important. Thank you.
Okay, this is a very short and brief presentation by Mr. Graham. So moving further, we have DGFT team, officer from DGFT, Ms. Manjeet Batoya. She may have joined by now.
Yeah, good morning. Greetings to all present and welcome all. And I would especially like to welcome Mr. Graham for providing the helping hand in the times of COVID for India. So welcome all. I am from the Directorate General of Foreign Trade, which is a attached office of Ministry of Commerce and Industry. And since its inception in 1991, when the liberation of economic policies was done, so it has been essentially involved in regulation and promotion of foreign trade in order to increase the exports. So basically, with the passage of time, there has been a shift from prohibition and control of trade to promotion and facilitation of trade. So the DGFT headquarters are in Delhi, Udyog Bhavan, and we have 25 regional offices located all over India, which cater to the implementation of the foreign trade policy and also the government scheme that the foreign trade policy ensures. And so it helps in facilitating trade in the internationally dynamic environment. So basically it's a theoretical aspect. And once the exporter or the importer practically goes into trade and does the business, then he has to go through the details regarding the schemes. So basically the foreign trade policy, the present policy was from 2015 to 2020, and it has been extended to 2021 because of the COVID, and no changes have been done, and accordingly the validation periods and the export obligation periods, they all have been extended. So the foreign trade policy, it includes the legal basic framework of the policy, then the general provisions regarding imports and exports, the reward schemes like merchandise export from India scheme and the services export from India scheme. I'll be talking in a bit detail in a while. And then there is a duty remission scheme, that is advance authorization, and then export promotion capital goods scheme we'll be talking about. So, and there also existed dispute redressal and grants mechanism. So any who wants to file a complaint, or there's some dispute regarding the contract or the quality of the material that the Indian exporter has supplied. So one can log into the portal and write down about the complaint. Issues or allots the import export, that is the basic registration number. It is the key business identification number, which is mandatory for exports and imports. Because if a person wants incentives from the government, then he needs to have an importer exporter code, and he can do that through a proprietorship firm, a partnership firm, a limited company, so on. And after the introduction of GST in 2017, the IEC, it has basically been similar to the PAN number of the entity, whether it's a proprietorship firm or a partnership firm. But it is issued by DGFT separately. So one can go online and just a few documents for the identification, and within half an hour or 1 hour you get the IEC code. So, and similarly modification is also easy. You go to online portal and in a day or two your data is transmitted to all customs and all. So then the third chapter, which deals with merchandise export from India scheme and services export from India scheme. These are a form of reward scripts, so that the Indian exporters are put at a level field of growing competitiveness in the world, because there are many infrastructural deficiencies where we lag behind from the so-called developed countries. So these are reward scripts, and there is a certain percentage of FOB price which is provided as a script, as a certificate to the exporters. So there are both eligible as well as some ineligible categories for which the MEIS is provided. For eligible categories it is provided, and some categories it is not provided. So as far as the merchandise export scheme is considered, there are certain notified products that are given in Appendix 3B, and the services, the notified services, are given in Appendix 3D of the policy. So moreover, the sale and purchase of these scripts can also be done, and it has also been done through DGFT portal, because one has to register the script whose ownership is it in. And later on it changes, and one can go through the details of the scripts online. Then the next scheme is export promotion capital goods scheme. In this, the import of capital goods, both for all for the pre-production stage, the production stage, or the post-production, like the packing or labeling machines, different machines, they can be imported. Apart from those in a certain negative list, those machines are not allowed. Such as second capital goods are not allowed. So in lieu of that, what the exporter, whatever the duty saved amount is there, he has to fulfill an export obligation to the tune of 6 times in a period of 6 years. So the period of 6 years has been divided into 2 blocks. First one is of the 4 years, and the second period is of the 2 years. So 50% export obligation he has to fulfill in the first 4 years and the next 50% in the last 2 years. And this export obligation is in addition to the average exports which the exporter has already been doing of the same or the similar products. So the average is calculated with a mean value of the last 3 financial years what he has exported. So after that, once the export obligation he has fulfilled, then a discharge certificate is provided to the exporter. And after fulfilling the discharge obligation, he is even free to sell his machine. Otherwise, till that period, it has to be in his custody. And in some cases, the average export obligation is nil. For example, in case of handicrafts, agricultural products, to give impetus to these industries. And sometimes the exporter fails to discharge the export obligation. So in that case, though average adequate opportunity is given to him along with personal hearings, but the DGFT, the RAs, they can issue show cause notices and then adjudicate the case, and similarly the punishment can be given as per the foreign trade development and regulation rules, FTDR rules and act. So then another scheme of the government to boost imports is advance authorization. In this, duty-free inputs can be imported, and the input should be, they need to be physically incorporated export. And also for fuel, oil, or the catalyst involved in some reactions, the advance authorization is given. And this authorization is given as per the standard input-output norms. There's a large book of norms which provides what quantity can be given. Quantity of input can be given for the export quantity, and what wastage is provided, that is an extra amount. So it can be as per SION or a self-declaration basis if there is some difference in the making of the manufactured product, and also by the prior norms that are fixed by the norms committee that is in our headquarters at New Delhi. And for this, minimum 15% value addition in the export product is required. And in case of, for example, in case of tea, the value addition is 50%, 50%. And there is Appendix 4D, which provides some products where there can be value addition less than 15%. So for like self-declaration, there are certain ineligible categories like spices, cereals, honey, etc. So they have a strategic importance. So that's why they are ineligible for self-declaration basis of advance authorization. And similarly, there are certain products for which the pre-import condition is required. Like the person has to import the inputs first and then only he can export. For example, in case of if he's procuring the inputs from unregistered sources, so he has to first then export. So these are indicated in Appendix 4, also in the SION book that is mentioned in the against the export product. So apart from these main schemes, I would not go into much detail. At present, it would not be required. If a person wants to have more information, he or she can mail me. Moreover, then we provide the free sale certificates that is available only for the products which are free to trade, because there are 4 kinds of products for which one are free to export, then the other ones are prohibited. Prohibited means those are banned. You cannot get some specific license and then you can export. So those are prohibited. And the other ones are restricted, for which you get a restricted import license or restricted export license. And the other ones are canalized or channelized. Those are imported through the state trading enterprises or like Minerals and Mines Corporation. So some products are put in that category. And regarding the dispute resolution and quality complaints, there are committees formed in all the RAs, and the regular meetings are done to solve those cases. Basically, the motive of these meetings are reconciliation, so that to reach to an amicable solution where the importer or exporter, they continue to import or export, and whatever loss is there they can share, or but so that we can close the case and the trade goes on, rather than putting one person on a heavy penalty. So the complaints are checked in from the online portal, and as per the area of jurisdiction of the offices, these meetings are done. And also under this, the penalty or the punishment is as per the FTDR Act and rules, and even the IEC cancellation can be done and the penalty can be put on these. So apart from this uh, policy framework, I would like to discuss it recently. You must have heard about the Independence Day speech of Mr. PM Modi sir. In 2019, he, in order to boost exports, he planned a district export hub for each district. So there is one product, or they can be 2-3 products for each district. They have to be identified and which have the potential for export, so that their manufacturing or their if the agriculture products are there, their growth is or yield is increased so as to boost the imports. So for this, the district plans have been prepared for all the districts of Punjab, and the delay was due to this corona pandemic only. So let's see what happens, and we would like to conduct meetings and look into the inputs from further industry and other stakeholders. So if any questions are there, then you can either ask now, or you may drop in an email at ludhiana-gft@nic.in. So that is all from my side, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Manjeet ma'am. I believe your colleague, Joint Director, Mr. Suvid Shah, is also going to speak on this. But before that, I would like to welcome our chief guest of the day, Director Industries, Government of Punjab, Mr. C. Sibin, IES. Welcome, sir. And you must have finished your government meeting and central government, which was going on. So if you have sir, can you take up first your views? Can we have?
Yeah, good morning all. I'm very happy to talk to you all. And I would also like to congratulate PHD Chamber of Commerce for taking up very relevant issue, especially in the wake of announcement of our Prime Minister regarding the Atmanirbhar scheme as well as Make for World program. So regarding that, Government of Punjab is also very serious to implement various schemes under this Atmanirbhar scheme as well as the Make for World program also. So tomorrow there is going to be interaction with the Union Industry and Commerce Minister, especially regarding the One District, One Product scheme. So that scheme is especially to give importance to the one product from each district of Punjab, So we otherwise also we have a lot of district specific products, mostly handicraft and industrial product also very specific to certain districts. So like something like handicraft, you can say Fulkari, wood inlay works, Tatheras from Amritsar, and Amritsar Juti, Punjabi Juti, and a lot of products which are very specific to certain districts. So like that, industrial products are also very specific, like Mandi Govindgarh for steel, textile, Ludhiana for textile, and sports goods in Jalandhar and so on. So we'll be now more concentrating on like district specific products under the ODOP program. So tomorrow there may be some direction will be given by the government of India regarding the program. So we'll have to basically to integrate various converge various schemes of government of India as well as state government. So already we are running the cluster development program, especially giving importance to the export. So I think this impetus from government of India will again definitely path-breaking step, especially to give importance to the cluster development programs. So that is where one of the development. And again, district level export promotion committees has been set up in each districts. So this district level export promotion committees under the DCC will also monitor this scheme, and also they will also have interaction with the exporters and all. So this will give a more interaction to the the export community. They can raise their issues, whatever they are facing. So DGFT is also the representative of DGFT is also a part of that committee, and industrial associations also. So we had been we had established 22 district level export promotion committees also, but it has to be activated more because everything are on the paper now, but we will have to activate it more. So there are state level export promotion committee also. So I think whatever the schemes available for export promotion need to be more integrated, more converged, so that effective utilization of the schemes will be there. So that's all from my side. Probably I would like to hear more from you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Adding to your, move on this exports for each district, and talking about the specific items which need to be promoted for the export, I would like to add that PhD Chamber has got approval from Government of India that we will be setting up a IPR center in Amritsar, where the branch will be in Chandigarh. This is to further facilitating the startup, the MSMEs for trademarks, patent, and this all you are talking Thathar, Punjabi Jutti, or whatever all specialized things which we are making. We should line up this activity also to get them trademarks or patent facilitation, where chamber can support and government can give them some standing in their products, but all they are manufacturing. So for that also we have a program with your department tomorrow, and would request you to kindly keep it in your system in the department itself, that all the activities in Punjab should get this facility so that their product gets some value in the coming time.
Right. Okay.
Moving further, sir, we would kindly stay with us because we have queries. People are coming up with some questions. Just moving further, is there Mr. Subhit Shah here from Joint Director from IT DGFT?
No, sir, he won't be able to join. He's just messaged.
Okay, then I will move to EEPC. Mr. Rakesh Suraj, who is Regional Director, Northern Region. Potential of engineering export during COVID time and risk management.
Yeah, good morning, all of you. Hope you hearing from us, from our side. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So I'm just sharing my screen because I have a small presentation. Just a moment. Hope it's visible.
Yes, sir, it's visible. You can yeah, that's better.
Yeah. So first of all, my sincere thanks to PSD, Chamber of Commerce, to giving the opportunity to discuss about something related to engineering industry. As you, I think a lot of also engineering people are here. Those who are quite aware of EEPC India, what exactly we are doing, how we are doing, how we are exactly helping to our MSME fraternity. But just for the introduction side, EEPC India has been the face of Indian engineering export over the span of last 65 years. Government of India has established EEPC in 1955, and at that time our engineering exports was hardly 10 million US dollar, and currently we have reached the level of 89 billion US dollar. So it's really a very remarkable figure. But now in the COVID time, we are facing a lot of difficulties related to other problems. In the last 4 or 5 months, we have seen the very drastic decrease in exports. In month of April, around 60%, May 37%. But in the month of July, we have seen almost 8 to 9% positive growth. So this is a good sign in the engineering industry. And especially in the northern region, Punjab is a major player. We have the highest member from the Punjab region only. One of our senior member, Aswini ji, is also present here. He is exporting the hand tools. So currently, EPC is a model EPC status given by Ministry of Commerce and Industry. As a EPC, the premier trade and investment bodies, we have almost 13,000 members. In the northern region, around 4,200 are the registered members we have, and more or less 63% are the SMEs only. So these are the brief introduction of EPC. So I'm not take much time because I'll just give you some pictures about what exactly the figures in the last 3-4 months, because it's very important to see in what exactly we are, how we are going from negative to positive growth. But of course, in this platform, not only the engineering industry, other sectors are also present. So first I'll give some pictures about the merchandise exports. See, once we analyze complete things in the month on month, means like in 2019, July to 2020, July, total merchandise growth is negative, around 10.21%. But of course, we have increased, we have minimized our differences from 60% in April to 10.21% in July. So we are going on the positive side. So, but apart from the engineering, a lot of other sectors people are here. So just for the information side, we have very high growth in the cereals, rice, iron ore, oil seeds, drug and pharmaceutical, coffee, and engineering goods almost 8.56%. But the other side, we have highest high negative growth in the gems and jewelry, leather and leather products, petroleum products, ready-made garments, and others. Once we analyze complete April to July growth from 2019, का जो जुलाई हमारा अप्रैल से जुलाई तक एंड 2020 में अप्रैल से जुलाई तक, once we analyze complete things, तो इसमें क्या था कि लास्ट ईयर वी हैव द ग्रोथ ऑफ 107.41 बिलियन US डॉलर टोटल एक्सपोर्ट्स था, एंड वी हैव डिक्रीज अराउंड 74 बिलियन के आसपास हम लोगों ने लास्ट 5-6 मंथ में ग्रोथ ये एक्सपोर्ट किया है. सो दैट इज अराउंड 30.21% का हमारा डिक्लाइन रहा है. बट इन द इंजीनियरिंग साइड टोटल ग्रोथ, टोटल जो नेगेटिव ग्रोथ रहा है दैट इज अराउंड 30%, बट इन द इंजीनियरिंग साइड वी हैव ग्रोथ ऑफ 8.56%. तो दीज आर द बेसिक फिगर्स जो हमने जो कंपेयर किया हुआ है फ्रॉम 2018-19 to 19-20, बट व्हाट वी हैव आर नाउ गिविंग द राइट नाउ दैट इज द अप्रैल टू जुलाई ओनली. So these are the figures जो कि member को idea लग सकता है कि what exactly and where we are growing. We have identified these 25 destinations. Still, US is the topmost position. You can see the USA, UAE, Germany, Nepal. जो highest growth है जो कि इसमें देखने वाली बातें हैं in 2000 April to July में, because this is the only the 19-20 figure, but in my hand we have the figure of July, April to July 2019 and April to July 2020. We have highest growth in China, 311%. It's a very remarkable figure. हमने पिछले 5 महीने में चाइना का जो हमारा जो ग्रोथ रहा है that is around 311%. Also we have growth in the USA, Malaysia, Vietnam, Indonesia. Indonesia we have 221%. So these are the potential market जो कि मैं मेंबरों से शेयर करना चाहता हूं कि because a lot of engineering people are in the northern region. ये सब वैसे सेक्टर्स हैं जहां पर हमारा पोटेंशियल मार्केट है, we can grow. So these are the 25 destinations you can see. I will share this figure with the Rimneet. He can share with the other participants also. Once we analyze complete 25 nation, you can see the 6 out of 25 countries recorded positive and cumulative growth. And USA has once again ranked as a numero uno destination for the India's engineering products, as well as the like before China ranked as the second destination for India's engineering products during the April-July 2020. तो ये सारे फिगर्स को खास करके इंजीनियरिंग सेक्टर के लिए एनालिसिस करना बहुत जरूरी है कि what exactly and how and where we can export. And after China, Vietnam recorded the highest positive growth on cumulative basis. And the European nations, India's top 25 engineering destinations, Germany, Italy, France, Netherlands, recorded the positive growth. तो ये सारे डेस्टिनेशन जो हैं वो इम्पोर्टेंट है हमारे लिए, जो किसी भी लाइक सपोज इन द पंजाब हैंड टूल, फास्टनर, बाइसिकल एंड आल्सो द स्विंग मशीन. These are the industries जो कि पंजाब में काफी ज्यादा ग्रोथ है, उनका काफी ज्यादा एक्सपोर्ट्स है, तो they can explore these nations. रीजन वाइज हम लोगों ने टोटल एक्सपोर्ट्स को एनालिसिस किया हुआ है. यू कैन सी द नॉर्थ अमेरिका, यूरोपियन यूनियन एंड आसियान +2 एंड द मिडिल ईस्ट. दीज आर द इसका जो हमारा जो कॉम्बिनेशन रहा हुआ है एक्सपोर्ट्स का, कि हम इतने सारे परसेंटेज जो हमारा टोटल एक्सपोर्ट्स का जो इस सेक्टर में जा रहा है. These figures are very technical. We have analyzed sector wise. We have analyzed potential list of countries HS code wise कि कौन सी कंट्रीज में कौन से HS कोड के प्रोडक्ट का पोटेंशियल अवेलेबल है. अकॉर्डिंगली फेरस कास्टिंग में हम लोगों ने एनालिसिस किया हुआ है कि न्यू फोकस जो है या एग्जिस्टिंग फोकस है अकॉर्डिंगली HS कोड वाइज, कंट्री वाइज एंड द एक्सपोर्ट्स वाइज. These are the figures. Once we analyze, अगर पूरा देखा जाए तो काफी टाइम लग जाएगा. फेरस कास्टिंग को हमने एनालिसिस किया हुआ है, स्टील फोर्जिंग, पंप्स, इंडस्ट्रियल फास्टनर. But I'll come to the hand tools because in the Punjab hand tools are the very important. Electric rotating machines, steel pipes and tubes, valves, construction machinery. Agricultural machinery is also very important in for the Punjab, because a lot of player in the Karnal region as well as the Jalandhar region also. Textile machinery, transformer and parts, cables, passenger vehicles, कॉमर्शियल व्हीकल्स, टू व्हीलर, ये सारे जो है वो एचएस कोड वाइज हम लोगों ने एनालिसिस किया हुआ है कि एग्जैक्टली जो है पोटेंशियल आज के डेट में कौन सी कंट्री में अवेलेबल है. हैंड टूल्स, it's very important sector for the Punjab. According to the HS code, we have identified the existing focus and new focus. Once you analyze, see the earlier the Malaysia, USA, Belgium. So now the Germany, Netherlands, France, Italy, Canada, Russia. These are the potential countries. There is a lot of the European nations, EU countries, and as well as the North American countries. So we can focus on that countries according to the HS code wise. Also, we have identified 90 focus product जो आज के डेट में जिनकी मार्केट में ग्लोबली इट्स हाई डिमांड, इसमें जिसको हम फोकस कर सकते हैं फॉर द एक्सपोर्ट साइड. अदरवाइज ये नहीं है कि व्हाट एग्जैक्टली वी आर मेकिंग, जो हम बना रहे हैं उसी को हम कंटिन्यूसली एक्सपोर्ट करते रहें. तो बेहतर होगा कि वी हैव टू फोकस ऑन द दिस प्रोडक्ट्स जिनका कि रियली डिमांड बहुत ही ज्यादा है. There is a lot of 90 products, so we can't explain each and everything here in the presentation.
ये हाईटेक लाइट्स का हो गया 300 नंबर और मेटाकास्ट का 301 हुआ.
Sorry, somebody is asking anything?
No, sir, you can carry on, please.
Yeah. So it's a very exhaustive list of the 90 products. Because we have made this product for the all India wise, but now we are focusing on the completely northern region, especially in the Punjab. So it's not very relevant, so that's why I'm skipping this list. Also, we have identified almost 66 items जो कि आज के डेट में चाइना से इंपोर्ट हो रहा था, जिसको गवर्नमेंट ने ऑलमोस्ट उसको रोका हुआ है. That means we have potential to manufacture and exports. It's a complete list here, competitive wise, HS code wise, what exactly the duties are given. 18-19 में क्या हमारा exports था, 19-20 में क्या हमारा growth रहा है. So year on year basis पे we have analyzed. If anybody wants to specific questions and related to any specific product, we can definitely explain. So these are the basic things, what exactly I wanted to share with the northern region people. So anything related to engineering side, the questions, I'm ready to hear. Thank you, Rimneet.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rakesh Suraj. We have a question for you, but before that, I would like to ask a question which has come for Mr. Sebin. Mr. Munish Dev from Jalandhar, he has asked for sir, you are talking about the specific district export focus. What is the focus of sports industry for Jalandhar? Is this part of your
yes.
list?
We have offices also in Jalandhar. In Jalandhar, we are focusing on the hand tools as well as the fastener, all type of fastener. And very soon we are going to organize a very dedicated B2B meeting for the all type fastener as well as the hand tool. We are planning on this kind of B2B in the month of November and December, as per our analysis.
Okay. And someone is asking, do you support for the export of biomass?
Biomass. It depends on, I think that not comes under the engineering HS code.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe some other council are dedicated for that product.
Right.
Usually engineering product comes under the chapter 72 to till 89 or some product in 92 chapter. So okay. If suppose anybody has some specific HS code, then please share with us. Then accordingly we'll tell you.
And secondly, you have told that you have made a list of what all can be stopped from the China and India can start exporting.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
We have complete list. List. So I'll share with Rimneet, and Rimneet will share with all your members.
Yeah, that is important.
Yeah, no problem.
Sure, sir.
And also we have identified these 90 product.
Okay.
those have a very high potential. So also I'll share with the Rimneet, and then accordingly he will share.
Right. Okay. Thank you. If any question will come, sir, we will get back to you. Question is to Mr. Sebin, Director Industries Punjab, by Mr. Manish Dev. Manish Dev, would you like to directly ask to Mr. Sebin? Okay. His question is, sir, for the export hubs you are creating, sports goods for the Jalandhar is part of this activity, with the list you are making for the districts?
Yeah, definitely. Sports good is for Jalandhar. We are looking for sports good cluster, and because I think for sports goods there is only one district in Punjab which is specialized. So Jalandhar, it is in the list.
Okay. Okay. Right. Thank you. Mr. Ashwini Kumar, Regional Chairman, FIO, he wants to ask us something about the export from you. Mr. Ashwini.
Sir, please unmute yourself.
Sorry. Sir, as I have already represented, Jalandhar is a hub for sports goods, hand tools, and valves and corks industry. So the major export from Jalandhar itself for hand tools, as Mr. Rakesh Sure said, if I get in together, is more than 700, 800 crores, and sports goods also on the same level. So my submission will be that we can have these two items added into the cluster for ODOP, which is a long-awaited policy. And I must tell you, sir, on the FIOS platform, so we are very successful in Uttar Pradesh. If you can, sir, ask them to give them the ODOP policy, we can share it together with the Punjab government so that some help can be done. And Jalandhar is a really big hub, sir.
Yeah, you are rightly pointed out. Among the total exporting products from Punjab, sports good is the first one. Second goes to machine tools, and then comes engineering goods, and then of course agriculture produce rice export is also one of the major export from the state. Yeah, machine tools can also be a part of the this district specific products, especially from Jalandhar, or maybe from Ludhiana also. So we will consider that. Yeah, what was the second point you were making? I couldn't get.
Sir, I said since the FIO was involved in some policy making, so in UP, in Uttar Pradesh, the policy is doing on very well, sir.
Yeah.
Maybe we can study that policy also, sir.
Yeah, that is UP is a state specific policy. So we are like tomorrow also we'll be raising this issue of some kind of scheme with proper guidelines, with with financial support to the clusters and all. Because at present, what I gather from the this concept note is that they are basically looking for convergence of the existing schemes. So existing schemes like cluster development program, we are already utilizing that, but we are basically recommending to the government of India that they should have some specific financial support to the clusters or some specific scheme for that. So see, UP has its own scheme. It's a state scheme basically. So similar to that, maybe government of India can also make financial support, because state government as Punjab government, the chance of giving some financial incentive and all, apart from our policy, is remote. So because of the financial constraints and all. So maybe we are looking for, and we are taking up with the government of India for financial support the clusters.
Sir, I have taken up one matter with the central government. I mean, This is, of course, the central government stress that every state should have export promotion councils or export promotion facilitation center. Sir, do you have any decision in Punjab government also, sir?
Yeah, we have. That's why I already, when I was talking, I was mentioning that there is a state level export promotion committee headed by Chief Secretary, which has already been constituted earlier. Now we had constituted district level export promotion councils also in each districts. We had already published the notification also. So, but as I told, it has to be activated further. So with these schemes, probably ODOP schemes, we'll be able to activate it further. So that is our expectations. So we just waiting for the guidelines of the schemes.
Sir, my humble request to Mr. Sachdeva and to Siban sir, to you and all the members who are representing the industry. Sir, we want, if you are making the export promotion councils of the state, sir, the industrialists should be part of that council, because very honestly, sometimes there are members who doesn't know anything about industry. So my humble request to Sachdeva sir and Seth Saab is sitting there, and Siban sir, to you, please involve the industrialists also on this, especially the exporters of some level. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that is already taken care of. I think we can share that notification also with you. So maybe it's a general, like some industrial association's name may be there. So, but of course they can recommend, they can nominate certain persons based on their representations.
Sir,
Right.
I am representing few as a Northern Region chairman. So definitely in exports, especially, of course, all the councils are the members of FIO, and we are the apex body. Sure, definitely there will be a big help from all the states, from all of our members to increase our exports from Punjab. So there are many other items, like somebody said, masks and all. There's a big production of masks and COVID kits. We can really help them out, sir. Thank you,
Right,
sir.
sir. Right, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Moving further, sir, we will take the questions. We have more questions. We'll take it later. We have Mr. Kuldeep Singh, Branch Manager, Export Credit, Guarantee Corporation of India Limited, who will also talk about his scheme immediately. And then we have our banker with us, State Bank of India, AGM, Mr. Vinod Kamra. So, Mr. Kuldeep Singh first.
Very good afternoon to all.
Yeah,
I am Kuldeep Singh, Branch Manager, ECGC. Respected chief guest and all the guest speaker, and very good afternoon to all the participants. ECGC Limited is set up by the Ministry of Commerce and working as a 100% Government of India organization regulated by the IRDA. It is the main goal of the ECGC to support the Indian export industry by providing cost-effective insurance and trade-related services to meet the need of the Indian exports market. We are basically working on two sectors. One, exporter sector, second, banker side. Under the exporter side, initially our major role are to where the exporter has identified the buyer, whether the authenticity of the buyer is up to the year mark or not. We are the very effective organization. We have a huge data about the buyer of the international market. We are giving the all detail about their buyer, whether the export you have to make to that buyer or not. It is the creditworthiness is justified up to the year mark. So at the time of the at the time of penetration of the fresh business, where exporter identify the fresh buyer, whether the repayment capacity of buyer is up to the year mark, we are playing a major role in the main scenario. Second, in case of the whether your buyer is able to make the payment in time, is justified or not, we initially giving some kind of the ECCC policy to the exporter. Under this insurance, we are covering the two types of the risk: commercial risk and the second, the political risk. Under the political commercial risk, we are covering basically the insurance, default of buyer, non-acceptance of goods of document, discrepancy rate by the LC opening bank. Also, in order to that, political risk, war, civil war, revolution in wide country, new import restriction, transfer delay, interruption and diversion of voyage. Basically, it is just like the credit insurance we are covering, where the exporter is sending the shipment to those buyer and buyer country. We are covering this kind of the risk. Second, risk is not covered. In here, some kind of the problem in case of the we are sending the goods to the buyer, risk of loss due to the commercial or quality dispute, insolvency or default of any agent of the exporter or of the collecting bank, loss or damage to the goods which can be covered by the general insurance, exchange rate, and failure of the exporter to fulfill the terms of the contract or negligence on his part are not covered under our ECGC policy. In this scenario, we are giving the two type of the cover to the exporter: small exporter where the turnover is less than 5 crore, and if it is the beyond 5 crore, we are giving the standard policy. Under the small exporter policy, we are giving the 95% coverage to the exporter, and under the standard policy, we are giving the 90% coverage. Where the exporter have the some big business like turnover is higher, where the buyer is multiple buyer, we are giving also some blanket policy. We are giving that exporter, we call it the multi-buyer exposure policy, where the exporter turnover is higher and rotation is higher, and the exporter does not need to come to ECGC every time to get cover, where the buyer is available with the record of the ECGC, we may make the shipment to that buyer. So in that scenario, we are giving also the multi-buyer exposure policy. Under this scenario, where there are the four things, but major things we are giving to that exporter to compliance of the ECGC policy. Under the ECGC policy, first you take the ECGC policy, then take the cover on adequate cover on buyer wise, then declare under the specified format given to exporter by the ECGC at the time of the overdue. Only at that time you have to report the details. Otherwise, before that, we are not taking any kind of the document from the exporter. Where the exporter is not getting the payment in due date, we are giving the 30 days from the due date to report whether the buyer is not making payment or not. In that scenario, exporter had to report before 15 of the every following month to ECGC, and giving the advice not make further shipment. Because of that, once the payment is overdue, then it is advised to exporter, please don't make further shipment due to earlier contract is payment is not over. So you please have to take the precautionary measure. Where the exporter is making the shipment to the buyer, kindly keep track record of the all things, because of sometimes the buyer is taking the advantage. Because of that, in a contract, they are putting some condition. So it is requested to all the exporter, before going to sign the contract or accepting the PO or invoice, kindly get it checked thoroughly. And please, in this scenario, you feel the condition is there, kindly immediately contact to the buyer and write down, get it approval. This condition is so and so, kindly modify. Because of some time, buyer is taking the advantage from the exporter side, that putting some condition to keep the exporter of their shipment under the trouble, not to make the payment, where the intention is malified of the buyer. So you are requested to all the exporter, please take care at the time of the signing the contract and accepting the copy of the invoice from the buyer side. One. Second, when you are making the shipment to the buyer, kindly keep the track record of your shipment and who have taken the delivery from the port, and when the payment is due, kindly make follow up with the buyer to make the payment realize in due date. In this scenario, because of some time a buyer is taking the advantage, he may not to respond to the our exporter well in time. Because of that, he have some negative intention. So you are requested to please, once the shipment is affected and you have sent the shipment to that exporter, so at that buyer, so at that time you please to keep track record all the things what you are making during this course of this shipment. So this is the ECGC is now in the COVID also giving the additional advantage to the exporter. We have reduced our processing fees 50%, wherever the exporter as the regular policy holder, we are not charging any the credit limit application fees. So these are the two kind of the facility we have granted. Third, if the exporter have some kind of the delay in making the shipment or in kind of the sending the getting the payment realization from the buyer, we have given the blanket extension up to the 31st August or for all the exporters, those are our policy holders. As far as banking concerned, bank officer is available here. He will advise about the RBI also given the some discretion to the exporter in this regard also, PC and post shipment. So majorly ECGC is playing a vital role in the two scenario. One, the in penetration of the in order to penetration of the fresh business from the international market about the buyer. One. Second, in case of the non-payment by the buyer from the international country, buyer and buyer country, we are very much available for you people settling the claim up to the 90%, or for the big exporter, for the small exporter, we are extend this facility up to the 95%. So it is requested to all of the people and all the participants in the COVID scenario. There is some changes are arrived in case of the non-payment. So you please all take the all are requested to take the precautionary measure. Where the buyer is unable to make the payment, you please immediately discuss with ECGC also. Where the some non-payment are also arrived, if you are not the policy holder. In this scenario also, we are also giving the advice those exporters how to recover their payment. So in this scenario, you can also please also keep in touch with ECGC. Here in Punjab, Jalandhar and Ludhiana, there are the two branch offices there. You can contact to any among one of the branch manager or the branch official. If in case of the where payment is not realized, how we come to know where we have to contact, how we have to contact to get realize this payment from the overseas buyer. Because of the some of the government agency is very much active in case of the non-payment of the buyer. Because of that, ECGC is a vital player in this market, where the buyer is we are also maintaining the list of the default buyer. You can also get it checked with ECGC to become the policy holder. Who the buyer record is available in our record, the buyer is our default list or not, in case of the fresh business. So you are requested to please, in the COVID scenario, the international about the international market, you all people are aware the scenario is going on. In this case, you please take secure yourself and come up with the ECGC and always have a cover. Adequate cover on buyer. Because of that, in this scenario, some kind of the defaulter buyer are also become active in the international market to take the opportunity. So again and again requested to please always secure your business. This is your hard money, and become the policy holder of the ECGC. And thank you. Any question, please?
Uh, we will take your questions, sir, later with Mr. Vinod Kamra jointly, State Bank of India AGM. Please have your views, sir, on the financial support to the exporters.
Vinod Kamraji, I think you have to unmute yourself.
Vinod sir, can you hear us?
Kamraji, we are waiting for you. Unmute yourself. You are still not unmuted. And your video is also off.
I think he's on some other conversation. Rimneet, you
Okay.
can check.
Mr. Kuldeep ji, we have a question for you that if anything being done by government to ensure imports also, where exporters pay upfront to the importers for improving certain products, essentially to be used in exports, and sometimes lost huge forex in the deal due to bad quality or no supply at all. This is a question from Mr. Upinder Singh. Upinder ji, can you ask directly?
Hello.
Yes, Upinder ji.
Hanji, sir, actually, like ECGC, we have Export Credit and Guarantee Corporation. Importers and test is not watched by any agency at all. That's why I'm asking this question that importers, they pay a lot of foreign exchange upfront. And sometimes, mostly from the countries like China and others, they normally do not send a good quality or do not send at all. So in that case, what is the insurance that is available from any government agency?
Hello, can you hear us, sir?
Kuldeep ji, question is to you. Branch Manager, Export Credit Guarantee Corporation.
Okay, sir, you need to unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. I got it. Thank you, Upinder sir. Because of that, in case of the importer, still there is no any organization is available to give the insurance where the quality and whatever it may be happening in the market, you all are aware. But this suggestion can be given to the government. Also set up the same kind of the agency like ECGC. We are giving the cover to the exporter against the non-payment the buyer and buying country. In the same manner, government may please you may request to give the suggestion to the central government also to establish such kind of the organization. We also noted down same thing, and we also give the suggestion to our senior also, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Anyone asked to want to ask any question from any of our panelists or the chief guest? I think Tinsadi, you want to know something from Mr. Sibin?
Yes, sir. I wish to place a query to Mr. Sibin, sir. Is he here?
Yes, Sibin sir is here. Please, you ask your question.
I think Sibin sir is.
Can I place the query and you may forward it to Sibin sir?
Yeah, yeah, you speak.
No, I think sir is not on the seat. That's what he's saying, sir. Sibin sir is not on the seat.
Okay. Okay. But Tinsaji, you can send the message and we will forward it to you and get the reply.
Sir, I think now he's here.
Amraji is ready. I think now he can.
Yeah, Mr. Subban can answer.
Tinsaji, ask your question quickly.
Subban sir is not on his seat.
Not on his seat. And Mr. Kamra has still not come back.
Kamraji is there. Vinod Kamraji is there. He can.
Yes, sir.
Kamraji, it was your turn and we couldn't hear you. Kindly give your views and the presentation.
Right, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Vinod Kamra, AGM State Bank of India. Sir, I am audible to you?
Yes, sir, you are. Please go ahead.
You are audible.
Actually, I would like to share in brief what we are having our setup in as Chandigarh, especially for exporters and importers. We are here in Mohali, Sector 68, a trade finance cell, and that I am heading that cell, where we are processing all the documents of our importers and exporters for all the Tri-City customers. Maybe he belongs to any branch of Panchkula, Mohali, Chandigarh, and we are having our own online system. Customer has to submit the document to the branch only, and branch will send the documents to our cell through our workflow system. The customer don't have to come to the our office for any type of work, and this is all online system. And apart from that, we are providing e-forex facility to the customers, where customer can himself book rates, online rates from the treasury. Otherwise, some customers are having some apprehensions, the rates are not good. So this facility has been provided by the bank, where customer can himself book the rates. And this is the brief setup which we are having in this Tri-City. And this type of cell is also in Ludhiana also. 2 cells are there in Punjab. And we are catering to all types of customers, even sitting here in Chandigarh for customer of Rajpura and for of even Baddi, Panchkula, all type of exporters we are catering to. And coming to the latest some facilities which RBI or Government of India has provided, which everybody must be aware of, that 10% some emergency fund type of the customers which are having their CC limit, so 10% of that limit is provided during this COVID situation to meet their urgent needs. One scheme is this, and another scheme is of Government of India, that is 20% of their total fund-based requirement, that we are also providing without any collateral securities, not calling for any collateral securities. And one, two more things which RBI has given during this COVID time. Customers who have booked forward contracts, and for somehow they are not getting the payments, that forward contracts otherwise has to be cancelled, and customer has to bear a huge maybe loss due to currency fluctuations. And that 3 days grace period is now allowed by the FDI, that you can, if your forward contract is expiring, you can extend it for 3 days. And realization period also has been extended by RBI. Export realization period limit is 9 months. When you have shipped the goods and you have total 9 months under which you have to realize the export proceeds. So keeping in view this type of situation, RBI has allowed that 9 months may be extended to 15 months. So up to 15 months, they can realize their payments, and there will be no penalty or any caution listings type of things by RBI. These are the 2-3 facilities which I want to share with you. One more facility was provided by the RBI, that some shipment during this March ending period was reached at the port and lying with port agencies and could not be shipped, and there were huge damage, otherwise customers may charge. That is also waived by the RBI, that no damage will be charged from the exporters. And one more thing, that MEIS scheme which somebody has referred. Now this new scheme is going to come, that is ROSTL, ROSCTL. That is going to replace MEIS. The basic reason is that some incentives are not covered under the MEIS scheme, and moreover there are some we can say that some objections by WTO, that India is giving undue incentives to their exporters. So keeping in view of all these things, this scheme is new scheme is going to be launched very soon. Rates are not yet decided, but in due course it is going to be launched. So apart from that, earlier banks are providing this concession rate facilities, PCFC, EPC, that is already there. These are the things which I want to discuss with you. Some queries, if you are having, you are most welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kamra. There's a question for you that if any data is available, how many exporters applied for COVID scheme and how many have been extended the facility? As we hear a lot from exporters that banks are asking for additional collaterals for extending the loans.
Right, sir. That data I will share by collecting from the branches. I can share with you that data.
Yeah, kindly do that, and you have put up your number, but in chat, Rakesh Sharma ji, Mr. Vinod Kamra has already put his number, so you can note down.
ओके सर मेरा क्वेश्चन है एक विनोद कामरा जी के लिए
जी
सर ऐसा है हम
इंट्रोड्यूस योरसेल्फ
राकेश शर्मा फ्रॉम आर्को इंडस्ट्रीज प्राइवेट लिमिटेड
यस सर
व्हिच सिटी
जलंधर
ओके जी
सर ऐसा है हम गवर्नमेंट सप्लाई भी करते हैं तो उसके लिए एक बैंक गारंटी देते हैं हम वो गारंटी बैंक गारंटी होती है 18 महीने के लिए
राइट सर
तो 6 महीने उसका वो ग्रेस पीरियड लेते हैं तो उसके लिए हमें एफडी देना पड़ता है बैंक को ये पुरानी है बहुत पुरानी एफडीज हैं तो अभी क्या है कोई एफडी जो है कोई 5 साल पुरानी है कोई 6 साल कोई 8 साल पुरानी है तो वो हम बैंक को बोलते हैं एफडी फ्री करने के लिए लेकिन वो कहते हैं कि हमने जो आपको डॉक्यूमेंट दिया था गारंटी का वो हमें वापस चाहिए जबकि गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट से डॉक्यूमेंट तो वापस आ नहीं पाता लेकिन बैंक की लायबिलिटी सिर्फ ओनली फॉर 18 मंथ्स है अब 5-6 साल पुरानी एफडी है तो उसमें तो कोई बैंक की लायबिलिटी है नहीं वो बैंक तो मेरा ख्याल फ्री कर सकता है एफडी
एक्चुअली सर इसमें जो
यू हैव
हेलो
हाँ
जी आपका म्यूट हो गया था अब ठीक है
जब गारंटी एक्सपायर हो जाती है तो बैंक की गाइडलाइंस ये है भी यू कैन क्लोज द गारंटी इन दिस सिस्टम सो दैट देयर शुड नॉट बी लायबिलिटी आउटस्टैंडिंग बट मार्जिन विल बी रिलीज्ड ऑन रिसीट ऑफ द ओरिजिनल बैंक गारंटी
ओके
तो आप कोशिश कीजिए भी डिपार्टमेंट से ओरिजिनल वापस मिल
अब
जाए या वो
जैसे
लिख के दे दें।
हम डील करते हैं, कर्नाटका है, तमिलनाडु है, महाराष्ट्र है, अब
अच्छा
वहां
जी।
से हम कितनी उनको ईमेल कर चुके हैं, कोई बॉदर ही नहीं करता, कोई भेजते नहीं है। अब बैंक तो 18 महीने के लिए बैंक गारंटी है, अब जो 6 साल 8 साल हो गए हैं उसके लिए तो कोई बैंक गारंटी है नहीं। हम अपनी तरफ से उनको इन राइटिंग दे सकते हैं।
नहीं, हम भी बैंक की तरफ से भी हम जो बेनिफिशियरी होता है उसको लेटर लिखते हैं भी दिस गारंटी हैज बीन एक्सपायर्ड इन योर बॉक्स एंड दिस इज नथिंग जस्ट ए पीस ऑफ पेपर, यू काइंडली रिटर्न द ओरिजिनल गारंटी टू अस फॉर आवर रिकॉर्ड। तो हम भी लेटर डालते हैं, पर ये इसमें इश्यूज काफी रहते हैं क्योंकि मैं कई सालों से इसमें डील कर रहा हूँ। तो अभी जो लेटेस्ट इंस्ट्रक्शंस बैंक ने डिवाइस की है वो यही है भी आप गारंटी क्लोज कर दीजिए, लेकिन मार्जिन जब ओरिजिनल बैंक गारंटी आएगी तो उसके बाद ही रिलीज करना है। लेकिन आप कोई बैंक में से कुछ लिखवा लें भी गारंटी मिल नहीं रही है, कुछ ऐसा भी हमने रिलीज कर दी है, तो उस लेटर से भी वो काम चल सकता है।
चलो
Okay,
ठीक है,
thank you.
थैंक यू।
Thank you, Kamraji. Now we have a question for Mr. Sibin. Sir, you are on the seat now.
Yeah.
Okay. Harbir Tinsaji, quickly ask your question and then we will wind up, and if any other question we will take further.
Thank you, sir. Jain Sibin, sir.
Yeah, Jain.
Sir, my query is basically not a query. It's just only request to you.
Yeah.
Sir, request from the small and micro industry. Basically, this part of industry doesn't have much of the resources so as to create a market survey in different countries. On a government level, sir, you can create this thing to have a market survey for the different countries wheresoever some product is needed or product are there. That would be divided. That would be bridged with the better product from India.
Okay.
So it will be a very beneficial for micro and small industry and the budding industries coming from the institutes. It will be a good mix for the academia and industry also. They will be working for the new product if at all you provide us the market from different countries, sir. Thanks, sir.
Okay, so that's a good suggestion. We can take it up with the government of India also, because if a market survey is to be done or get some market response from other countries, then government of India has to be involved. So we will take it up with the government of India.
Okay. Moving further, sir, you joined late, so we had first speaker, Mr. Graham Booner, who is the chairman of Gallus Ecom UK. He gave his presentation initially, but he wants to say something because we can really get the benefit of while they have started the sport of MSME in India. Mr. Graham.
Hello. Well, just to finish off from what I was saying earlier, Gallus Ecom is a platform for which all exporters can come on and show their wares for free to the world, and we will do our best at trying to, well, not trying to, we will market and sell them in every country that we can. I noticed from one of the presentations that there's not a huge amount coming to the UK. Certainly on the engineering presentation, I picked up that there's still a lot of gaps that we can take advantage of. And that we can certainly hope that we will help the exports from India. Listening to you all, it's been quite revealing from the areas of problems that you have and the hurdles that you've got to jump over. But we hope that we can make it much easier by being that link for Indian only, I do repeat that, Indian only services to the world. I think there's a fabulous opportunity here for India, and we just need to make the right bridges. And Gallus Ecom is one of those bridges. It's brand new. We're about to release it. We're about to come to the world. So please come on board for any suppliers that you know, for free, and let us try and advertise and get business back into India.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Graham. Many people are asking your link of the website, so we will be sharing in the group now. And Rimneet, kindly do this so that everyone gets in timely.
Yeah, sure.
Moving further, we have our chairman, Mr. Karan Gilotra. I would request him to kindly wind up and say thanks to everyone and, give your views on this today's event.
Good afternoon, everyone. Anji, Anji.
Kindly, may I request everyone to kindly mute yourself. Karan, Seth Saab, तुसी कुछ कहना चाहते हो? Kindly unmute करो.
हाँ जी करता जी.
हाँ जी.
I only suggest that last week, Joint Director Ludhiana DGFT visited Amritsar, and he has released a study book for the products to be exported from Amritsar district. So that should be taken care of by the Director of Industries himself, so that the export from Amritsar should be made many folds, and there are many chances. Number one. Number two, sir, under the Industry Academia program, it is suggested that Guru Nanak Dev University has been declared as the 10th best university in India today. So there must be industry and academic programs with the Guru Nanak Dev University to develop the export from Amritsar. And lastly, border district incentives must be given. We have suffered in Punjab. Every incentive have been given to the hill stations, to the Jammu and Kashmir, to the others, but we, the sufferers in border towns of the Punjab, have never been cared of. So these my 3 points should be cared of and redressed. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Seth Saab. Thank you very much.
So nice, sir.
Karan ji, please.
Thank you, Seth Saab. Thank you, Sidevaji. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Karan Gilotra. I'm the chairman for PhD Chamber Punjab chapter. Once again, I would like to welcome and thank Sibin sir for sparing time and joining us for this session on export promotion. Thank you very much, sir. Sorry, I joined in a little late. We had part at home, so I was just busy with that. Mom's birthday, so I just got stuck with that. And thank you to all the other key speakers who have shared their views. Though I've been reading a lot of chat which has been coming, and I'm sure this session has been fruitful for everyone. And I'm sure like the team is going to share all the website links, and all the queries which are unanswered will be sent to the concerned speakers. So I would once again like to thank all of you, and a big thank you to Mr. Sibin for sparing his time always for PhD Chamber whenever we have requested, sir. And thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Sadeva.
Yeah. Thank you. Rimneet, kindly share the email ID of DGFT also on the group chat. With this, the program, which I believe have been a very successful with all the participants and the multi-speakers. If any question is there, we will wait for a minute. Otherwise, I would request everyone to kindly get connected all the time with PhD's events. And thank you all for this program and your support always to the chamber. And we will continuously work. Yeah.
Shri Devaji, this is Charanjeev Singh from Ludhiana.
Yeah,
Knitwear and Textile Club, basically. It is a very good news that Mr. Sibin has given that they are making a small cities-wise, product-wise stations. And this is a very basically to work on the basic roots of the industries. It is a very informative and very, I think so it will get a very good success. As we are the oldest woolen knitwear products in the world, basically. After the Leicester, the Ludhiana is the name where we have been specialized for that very thing. I will request to Sibinji. So taking care for that very thing, for Ludhiana segment, for the knitwear as well as the textile is a very vague word basically. In this very, there are all the spinnings and these all things are coming there. It is a very small suggestion from my side. So nice of you for this is very good seminar. Sibinji has given a very good information. We are very thankful to the PhD chambers. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Paji. Welcome. And the email link has been shared by Rimneet. Thank you for everyone for participating and kindly get connected all the time for all the activities Chamber does. So nice
So
of
we
you.
are,
Thank
sir, we are also organizing our IPR event, importance of IPR for MSMEs and startups,
Yeah.
which is happening tomorrow from 3 to 5. We request you all to kindly join us for the same as well.
Okay. Thank you, Rimneet, and thank you, Madhu ma'am, for this initiative.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to everyone.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
There was last point. Can I speak something?
Yes, sir, you can.
I am Rajan Mittal from Gurdaspur. Regarding the districts wise, as discussed today in the meeting, the incentives and the policies, as Mr. Siban Sahab has said, we could share it early as possible so that we can know about industries, what incentives and what guidelines we are getting during this corona to the GM industries.
Yeah, we'll share that. No issue. We will share that. No issue. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. So we're closing the meeting. Fine.